All right. All right. There it is. Yo, guys. How's it going? Good to see you. Ha! Here we are. Our first monthly Q&A. I've only been asked for it a few times. This isn't something that is here by popular demand. I wanted to offer this to you guys as supporters, just so, we could get some time to chill and chat a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get started pretty quick though today, not gonna lie. My camera is messed up. As you've seen on my streams, it just freezes for some reason after about 8 to 15 minutes. So this one actually is gonna be pretty short, unfortunately, guys, but this will be a recurring format. Supporters, onions, and up. You guys will always get to be here live, ask questions live, chat with me. Everybody else, you can always put in questions throughout the month, but for supporters, this is primarily for you. So thanks for being here, guys. Punji, Lord Skippy, Crash Test, how you guys doing? Giving me a good morning, because apparently it's morning time. We can't actually see the chat, by the way. It's not on the screen for some reason. Sorry about that, guys. So you won't be able to see what they're saying. That's just, sometimes these things just stop working. I can't really fault them for that. Actually, I can fault them. I fault them quite a bit. It's actually incredibly annoying how often they stop working. But what I'm gonna do is I will pull up the stream on my computer here so you guys can at least see something in the... No, it's not even gonna work. It's gonna be too small. Sorry about that, guys. I will figure out the chat for the next time. But anyways, let's get to the questions for the day. So I collected questions on YouTube, on Discord, and on Patreon. Didn't get too many. In fact, most of the things that people put into the question and answer post on my YouTube channel. Hold on, let me actually pull this up. It's kind of funny. Most of the questions that people actually posted to the thread that I made for the Q&A were not questions. In fact, they were almost all kind of personal wishes of the game, I guess. So I made this post here. Hold on, let me show you. So I made this post and I asked for questions, but then I also put a poll in here, and everybody basically completely ignored the question, or rather completely ignored the call for questions, and just kind of answered this question. I should not have done that. I shouldn't have done a poll. So these are all just like kind of sentences. Some of them are questions, so we'll get to those. So the first one is, whoops, sorry about that. Wrong screen. First one is, do you think with the addition of physicalized cargo that would finally be able to dump containers of ore from a mining ship for a teammate to collect and sell? Basically, can we transfer those cargo compartments on the prospector and the mole and all that stuff? I think it's a fair bet. I think it's dependent. Actually, let me read both of these questions. The next one is, I think the tech, will physicalized cargo make it possible to transport ship components and weapons from location to location? I feel like I can answer both of these at once. The cargo refactor seems like it's going to be a tech edition, not necessarily a feature edition. I feel like what they introduce into the cargo refactor is going to allow everybody else to start to hook into it, but it might not necessarily mean that all of these things will happen with that first update. So we might be able to do, placing cargo onto cargo grids and taking things off, but we might not necessarily be able to, say, remove a mining bag or move components physically, because that also would take physicalized components. But this is all up in the air. This is kind of what I'm thinking personally, but they've got several months until that happens. We honestly don't know too much about the cargo refactor, so I would expect to hear more about that soon. Oh, I goofed big time. I'm always goofing over here. Blame Skippy for the broken things. Skippy, you're supposed to be fixing the broken things, please. Thank you. Were they all asking for a hot tub stream? I mean, you would think, right? No, they weren't asking for a hot tub stream. That's only you, Punji. That's only you. All right. Next question. This is a long one. This is a doozy. You know your Star Citizen, Mr. Space Tomato. What do you think would be a decent mid-tier graphics card for running it? I can check PC builds all day long, but I'm lost as heck when it comes to this stuff. I have an old gaming PC, but it's not keeping up with these new game graphics, so it might be time for an upgrade. I don't know graphics cards that well. I'm not a huge, like, I like tech, but I'm mainly a smartphone tech kind of guy. I don't know computer components that well. I'm running on a 1080 Ti. I stream with it, I record with it. When I am streaming, sometimes we get some issues, but for the most part, it runs the game pretty well. When I'm not streaming, it runs perfectly fine. So 1080 Ti is a decent baseline, but that's pretty hard to get right now. I know some people are playing on 1660s. Some people are playing on like 5900 XTs from AMD. Generally though, if you're looking for a good mid-range card, I would probably benchmark on just a recent game, maybe like Halo Infinite or the new Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that, because that generally is going to get you good enough performance with Star Citizen. And to be honest, by the time this game goes live, we'll all have bought a new graphics card anyway. So I would consider looking at what other people are suggesting for high-end games. If you have it in you, I wouldn't go any older than a 2000 series, just because you might like that benefit of ray tracing in the future. Next question. Oh, right now Star Citizen barely touches more than half of my 2080 Super. It's killing my CPU more than anything. Yeah, it's the CPU that really gets you. And then just make sure you're on an SSD, you got a decent CPU, you've got at least 16 gigs of RAM, and you should be able to at least run the game reasonably. Oh, next one is a big one. Mr. Space Tomato. You guys love calling me Mr. Thank you. Do you believe there will be all the separate star systems originally mentioned available on release? At the current rate of how fast they are making Pyro, it would take a very long time to do them all. Surely, there will have to be some automated generation of them down the line, but this would reduce the overall quality we have currently. Yes, it definitely would. Remember though how long Stanton's taking. Stanton has taken, I would say they probably seriously started focusing on expanding Stanton around 2016 or so, 2015. So Stanton's taken like 7 years. Pyro is taking about 1.5 years. Nyx sounds like it's taking about a year. It will speed up, and we are going to get a significant amount more systems, I think, before the game goes live. Maybe 5, maybe 6 more. I don't think though, in fact, I will say 100% we're not getting all of those systems on launch. In fact, I kind of don't expect to get all of those 100 systems at any point. Maybe it'll happen, maybe in 10, 15 years if the game's still going, but that's so theoretical. There's no knowing right now, I think. But we definitely won't be getting all of the systems in the future. The way that they'll be doing it will most likely be how they're doing it now, with just more assets, which is essentially procedural generation and then hand detailed. So you procedurally generate your area, your planet, and then you go in by hand and you specify what's going on here, what things are there, that kind of stuff. And you can see how they've sped up their processes by doing that, especially with the moons. So yeah, we won't be getting all those systems, but at some point, we might. I don't think that they'll ever go completely procedurally generated, but they're gonna have to use that technology in some ways. All right, next question is, do you think Star Citizen will solve the ping problem? See the video Ken Chris deliver by Newifier. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I have not gotten to watch the video. Love my man Newifier. Actually want to get him on the podcast, but I haven't been able to see it. I'm assuming this is maybe somebody in chat. Feel free to chime in and let me know what the video is about, but I feel like this is probably about the whole server meshing thing and having people in different regions and how the latency is going to work when we have so many people all together. Because that's yeah, I don't know what the ping problem is. Crash Test said, you're really looking forward to Rhodes. Also wonder if they will ever introduce a black backpack. Oh yeah, I mean, we need black backpack, right? If anything, just like paint it a little bit. But yeah, Rhodes will be cool, and it's something that is coming up a little bit more now that they're focusing on ground gameplay a lot and bringing in new hovercrafts and stuff. We'll come back to the ping problem, just in case anybody does pick that up. Let me touch on this next question, though. This is a big one. This is actually the one that kind of, I feel like, headlines the video, and it's actually the last official question that we have, so well done. We made it 10 minutes. But it is there an imagined cutoff point you have in mind where if something does or doesn't happen, you lose confidence in the ability for CIG to bring Star Citizen to the table as more or less the game envisioned around 4 or 5 years ago after the scope change? So that is a question that comes from Punji, actually live in chat right now. And I see you guys talking about the ping problem, so we'll get back to that. But, oh man, there's a lot. I actually wrote some stuff down here. Let me just straight up read this because I feel like it's how I feel. There are a lot of things that keep my eye on, there are a lot of things that I keep my eye on when it comes to Star Citizen's development. Many of them I don't expect to reach the ultimate goal of what they lay out. I don't expect like some of these things that they talk about to reach that ultimate lofty thing that they expect it to be, but I do expect it to fall short to a point where it is still mind-blowingly good as far as video games go. If they continue to build in that direction, so be it. If they're falling short, that's gonna bum me out, but I'm not going anywhere unless there's another alternative, right? So as for the game that they have sold to us, though, the one with the big scope, there are three main features, not features, like segments of the game that I really, really focus on. That I'm like, if you leave that, then you're diverging from the course that you said this game is taking, and that's when I'm gonna start to consider, this might not be my main game. This might not be the game for me. At that point, though, like I said, I'm still waiting for something else to come along. I will most likely start experimenting more with other games, but I don't know if I'll ever truly leave behind Star Citizen. Now, those features I was talking about are, one, the economy, which needs to remain dynamic, reactive, and multifaceted. We need to make sure that there are, your macro and micro economies that are working together between systems, between planets, pirates, haulers, how are missions being spawned. What the heck? All of that stuff is very important to me in terms of this game. The next is that the world needs to be interconnected so that all systems affect one another and players can easily transition to play with others. So this is going as far as systems like the system you're in, the server you're in, the region you're in. I just want to make sure that seamless environment is still there, whether that means, I have to go to another instance to be with my friend. As long as everything is the same in that instance, that's good. As long as people can fly somewhere and meet up with a friend and play with them, that's good. As long as players are hauling cargo in a system and that has an active effect on other players, that's good. I want to make sure that kind of overall togetherness is always a part of Star Citizen. The final thing are the game systems, the features. They need to continue to build out these skill-based game systems for the new players and the veterans. They need to continue to make sure that they are easy enough to pick up, but difficult enough that we're getting a lot of gameplay from them for years to come. That's super, super key. They focus a lot on making sure that people make the right choices in this game and feeling the consequences of those choices. So that kind of stuff, including not polishing your skills, that needs to be a thing too. That always needs to be here. So Crash Test is telling me now about the ping problem. Basically can't be the speed of light, and how can you have people all over the world without terrible bad ping? Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat that problem, to be honest. I think they'll find ways to minimize it, but at some point, yeah, in physics, right? You don't see anything being better than SC yet? I don't see the big scope being entirely fulfilled. I have to agree with Noob on bad ping with worldwide shards. Yeah. But outside of shooting at each other, this game doesn't really need super fast ping. It just needs the economy. Right. Yeah. If we're all just out shooting our own rocks and mining stuff, then it doesn't really matter, right? As long as everything's updated. And it looks like my computer has frozen, or my camera rather has frozen. So I'm going to let you guys look at this for now. But to be honest, that's about it. Hey, my death counter. That's about it, guys. That is the first monthly Q&A video. I'm sorry that it goes so short, but as I said, I've got that camera issue, and to be honest, we didn't get many questions. Hopefully next month we get a few more, we get some more curiosity, but that's about it. And guys, this is I appreciate you guys coming here, all 4 of you. Again, for anybody who signs up on Patreon, you get this live. You get to come in here and chat live. In fact, we generally are chatting most days exclusively in our Discord chats. But besides that, you're also getting access to exclusive YouTube videos, which I would click into one of these tabs to maybe show you, but I don't know what's up there. Two exclusive YouTube videos every month. A couple extras throughout the month. We got a lore reading coming out for our top supporters in a couple of days. You get some bonuses. So if you like this stuff, if you enjoy my content, if you like Star Citizen, or even if you just want a place to chill and waste your time and listen to me babble, then consider signing up down below. Regardless though, I appreciate you guys coming here. I appreciate everybody who's watching this. And to be honest, I hope to see you next week. Or month. Also week. I hope to see you next week. Because, you know, Star Citizen. Anyways, oh, we got one more question, actually. When can we expect reclaimer races? Okay, yeah, cool. So that's where we are. Thanks, Vagabond. Reclaimer races will come as soon as we get salvage in game. How about that? All right, guys, it's been good. I'll catch you all later. Have a wonderful rest of your month.